Hey, today will be just a little bit different format, as today is Wednesday. It's my third week going part-time everything, and yeah, I'm just going to take it very quickly, as it's already, as maybe you can see, whoop, it's almost half past first, half till 2. So yeah, I will take you all along, and got a lot of work today to do. I started final grinding these SFKs, as you can see, and oh, I'll just take you along. Watch this. And yeah, I did quite a few of them. It's like I don't know, maybe 15, and I still got 10 left to grind. Super happy with the finish that I can get. These will be cerakoted, so the minor scratches are pretty fine. As you can see, there is a little bit here, but they will be under the coating, so it really doesn't matter. And they are full flat ground, so there is quite some material to be removed still, as this is how they look with the pre-heat treatment grinding. And I leave these flats so they can be clamped flat after they are heat treated, so they are straight, nice and straight. So I was working, got my hands gooey. So yeah, I was working on those the whole Easter weekend, all the 3 days, almost all. One was dedicated to family and spending some good time with them. But yeah, did some damage. Still need to do a lot. Hopefully today I will finish those up, do the final grinding. I will take you along how I do that. I won't go full in depth on that. Maybe I'll do a separate video about that. But we'll just cruise through the process, as it's pretty late already. And yeah, do as much as we can after the grinding of the bevels. There is still some stuff left. I still need to chamfer the edges and then go to the violet Scotch-Brite wheel and make them rounded, and then they can go off to the cerakoting. And then I will be waiting, as I did not get the heat treated batch of Angus scalpels, so I'll find something else to do. And I worked on this bad boy, the hypersonic plane inspired chef knife with a Kiritsuki tip. I'm really loving it, and it's super thin, a laser thin. I might thicken up the edge just a touch, just because to make it more general purpose and general use. But we'll see how it sharpens and how the testing goes. So yeah, let's go and grind these SFKs. I will quickly show you the setup that I got for the grinding and how I grind. Of course I use jigs. Who is trying to go full-time? Everybody is using jigs. It's about speed, efficiency, and most important, consistency. You want to be as consistent as possible. If you are selling multiples of the same knife, you want it to be consistent and the same, that the people that are ordering it and getting it, they are getting basically the same product every time. So it's very funny that doing handwork and trying to be as precise and consistent as a machine. So yeah, I grind in batches, in 5 knives at a time. This saves me time on changing the belts, and I'm grinding on 1 grinder. So this means I have 5 jigs that need to be set up for 1 knife each, and then I grind. Okay, so the belt progression. The belt progression is 40p grit, then I go to 120, and after 120 I go to 240. So it's only 3 belts, and sometimes, this time included, I go with a brown Scotch-Brite belt, or maybe green, we will see, or maybe both. So it's 5 belts in general. but it gives this very nice shiny and even finish. So, and now let's go to the jigs. And for the jigs, this is the easiest and best jig ever. You don't need any angle irons, you don't need anything. You just take this wonderful 1 to 3 block contraption. It's basically just 2 blocks that are held together with 2 screws. And what I do, I just use this block. As this is hardened steel, I just jam it like this, and you can see this is all even. I clamp my blade with these, and I even use another screw that I just put in as a template, let's say. If I want to have my grind line or the plunge line at a certain angle, I just put my knife like this, it ramps there, and I can get consistency every time. And after I clamp this down, I just pull out the screw, and the blade is held in perfectly. This jig is super easy, it's very lightweight, and it's very easy to use, as both sides of the knife are available to be ground, so you don't need to set up it every time, and you can just grind one side, dunk it into water, take it out, spin it around, and grind it from the other side. I might do a separate video more in depth about this jig, as I haven't explained everything now, but I got a series of 5 of those that I need to set up, and then I go to grind on my very nice grinder, where the angle is adjusted on the platen via this wonderful contraption, which lets you be very precise. And of course I use a angle gauge. So when I know the precise thickness of my stock is done. I say how thick I want it to be behind the edge, I subtract that, I divide the thickness in 2, and just then measure how high I want to be the bevel. Then I just use the Pythagorean theory, calculate the angles, at what angle I need to set up the platen, bingo bongo bongo, and you go, and this is very nice and easy and consistent. Most importantly, consistent and efficient way of grinding bevels. Where I look into the future, where I want maybe to have some employees, and it is a very easy skill to teach, at least compared to freehand grinding, and it is very efficient. So it's so much better, but there are some limitations, especially when you are doing some culinary knives, long chef knives, or thin knives. You cannot use this, you need to do the rest and push stick method, which requires a lot of more skill. So yeah, now I will go on and set up all of the knives, and yeah, I'll just skip to the time lapse and you will see everything, and maybe I will do a voiceover, or maybe not. It's Paulius from the studio again, and yeah, studio, home studio more like. So I thought I would give a try for this voiceover thing again. Sorry for the shaky video before. And in this scene you actually can see, like, I am marking the edges and the center lines of these blades. And it's very important to have very good and clear center lines on your blades when you are grinding. So there are a few blades that I just remarked those as they were not clear enough. And it's not very, it's just a pain in the butt that will bite you later if you don't do this right now. So as TJ Schwartz says, accuracy upstream creates efficiency downstream. So you need to know where to put in your time. So yeah, I'm just setting up these jigs to be straight, nice and clear. I thought I might show you also myself grinding. The grinder is already set up, the angle is set, I use one knife as a test piece to test out if everything is okay, if the angle is okay, and everything is good and lines up. And as you can see, when I'm grinding with a very first belt that is 40 grit, I use a push stick as it allows me to give more pressure on the belt. I'm not running it full speed. I find it like running it a little more than half speed is very, very effective. It doesn't create a lot of heat, and the combination of pressure and belt speed is very efficient. So I am able to remove a lot of steel without creating a lot of heat in the blade. And then I change out the belt into a 120p grit belt, and that creates loads and loads and loads more heat. So I only use fingers and I go by feel, as it's very easy to overheat your blades. So, and yeah, rinse and repeat for all of the blades from now on. Also, please do appreciate that filming from this angle was such a pain in the ass, and I had to dance around the tripod from one side to the other side, and it was hard to reach the cooling buckets with the water. So yeah, please appreciate it and give me a like. But in all seriousness, here I am just finishing off the blade surface finish with a 240 grit aluminum oxide brown belt, and then I switched to a brown Scotch-Brite belt, which is a natural progression to a green Scotch-Brite belt, which is a medium, and this one is a coarse, and I find this gives a very, very good surface finish. Finally, all of the blades are ground to the ground. 22 are done. I finished the last ones off camera, as nobody wants to watch the same footage all over again, as it's just the different knives. So this is what we have. They look pretty beautiful, pretty uniform. Love the blade finishes. What we'll do now is I'll go and add the small wheel attachment to my grinder, and we will do the contouring and go to the violet Scotch-Brite belt, not belt, disc. And yeah, so let's jump into the time lapse. First of all, I would like to publicly apologize to everybody who has seen the huge black booger on my nose in the previous scene. I do not have a mirror in my shop, and I wasn't wearing a respirator while I was grinding, so yeah, it was a huge clunk of steel, hopefully steel, and I surely removed it after leaving my workshop, so I don't go like that in public. And yeah, currently I'm just doing the chamfers on the SFK blades, as they are already hardened, and I am using a 400 grit belt. It takes a lot of time and a lot of checking. It is not visible in this time lapse as it's very, very quick, but doing 25 or 22 blades like this and going around and looking if the angles do match up, is the finish very nice, it's really taxing. So a lot of care and attention goes into every and each blade. This purple disc really does wonders to your contours and blades and edges. It really rounds them over, but they are not that physically rounded over, but they feel just really, really nice. So, and that workflow is very, very simple. I just go over all over the same contours that I did with the small wheel attachment. And as it is the last scene where I do voiceover, it's a huge thank you from Paulius from the home office recording studio, and I appreciate each and every of my viewers. So let's go back to Paulius in the workshop. So that's it for today. I think I'm done. It's getting pretty late. I don't want to go more into the night, so I won't start anything big today. I am very happy how these turned out. I'm very happy how it actually feels in the hand, and like the Scotch-Brite wheel adds so much. It creates such a small radius that makes the whole profile feel very nice in the hand, and that will allow me, as these are laser cut, that will allow me to have some tolerance on the scales, as these are not ground together with the knife, and the profile of the knife is actually protruding for like, I don't know, 0.3, 0.2 millimeters. It really depends as handwork goes in and it takes off the material. So I make these scales actually smaller, like a half a millimeter or even more smaller than the profile that has been laser cut, to compensate for the removed material. So I'm very lucky to have a small CNC, desktop CNC, so I can tinker with it and actually do some R&D, research and development, and adjust it perfectly to make the scales fit very nicely. Of course, it will be impossible to make it fit like without any of the tang sticking, but that's fine. That's fine, because when you are using it, it feels so nice in the hand. You cannot actually feel the tang as it's already rounded. There are no sharp edges, so it's pretty nice. I'm very excited. I'm super stoked that these are full flat. They are pretty thinly ground, so these will be hard to use blades, but not in the sense that they are pry bars, but they are actual knives, they are actual blades. They are made for cutting, and they have cutting geometries, not like the survival knives that you can find in the big box stores, which are very thick and they are so tough and you can use them as pry bars. These are not pry bars, these are cutting implements to be used in camping, in outdoors activities and whatever, where you actually want to cut. Of course you will be able to baton and use and abuse them a little bit, but they are not pry bars, and they are not meant to be like that. If you want a pry bar, just buy a pry bar. Why would you carry a knife that cosplays as a knife but is actually a pry bar? So I don't know, but yeah, to each their own, I guess. So these will be knives. They will go off to Cerakote, but not yet, as I want to finish up the chef knife that will be also Cerakoted, and I want for the Angus batch to come back, and a few of them will go out to Cerakote, and these will be very special ones, which will be only available to my newsletter followers. And yeah, I don't even think you will be able to buy those. We'll see what I can come up with. I want to make something special for the nearest and dearest followers of mine who've been here from the start, and who knows a lot of lore on the Baltic Blades and stuff like that. So yeah, that's it for today. Like, share, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube thing, and you know, the bell notification, whatever. Favorite the video. In the past it was useful, now I don't know. So do all of that, and see you whenever, I guess, next time. Bye!